Hi everyone, so just to give you guys an idea about what's really going on, it's estimated that 1 in 8 suffer from chronic hunger. That comes out to 842 million people around the world. This photograph on the left that I've included is a toddler that was trying to reach a feeding center that was a mile away. And I've also included a quote from that photographer, and it's, quote, "I am haunted by the vivid memories of killings and corpse and angry and pain of starving or wounded children," unquote, Carter. It's even estimated that 10.9 million children die each year, and that malnutrition and hunger-related diseases cause 60% of these deaths. And what we need to realize is these are not just statistics, but they are small, innocent children. The root of this problem is actually quite simple. It comes down to food insecurity. People in these countries, they simply do not have a permanent supply of food, and that causes chronic hunger in their societies. So with any argument, there's going to be other viewpoints. Some people would argue that it's pointless to intervene for a variety of reasons. They would argue points such as how people in other countries, they don't have hundreds of acres of lands to start farms. So in their viewpoint, with no land available to these people, it would be pointless to buy them seeds and teach them agriculture if they have no land to work with to begin with. They would also point out that these countries lack infrastructure to get their food from farm to table. And they would also argue that they have no marketplace to buy or sell these products. Here's some facts that we can all agree on. Number one would be the fact that it is true that people in other countries do not have a whole bunch of land to work with to start large farms. And number two that we can agree on is that here in the US we have valuable knowledge about the agriculture industry. And third and most important, it's certain that we need to try something new to help resolve this problem. So a fact to consider when thinking about this topic, it's interesting how here in America there are some people that are suffering from obesity while other people in the world are suffering from chronic hunger. So in keeping all of this in mind, the US has developed many reliable ways in which to grow food. Therefore, it is unethical and immoral not to share this knowledge and help the chronically hungry become self-sustaining. So a new idea to help solve this problem is a type of agriculture called aquaponic systems. Everyone, so my topic I was talking about was feeding the world. So I have a new idea for a different project. So Project Food Aid, where instead of giving people food, we invest into different projects where they become self-sustaining and make their own food. So this one I was thinking about is a concept called aquaponic farming. So aquaponic farming, the way that it works is you have a fish tank. You put all of these fish into a fish tank, and then the fish give off waste products, right? And then the waste products go and they get pumped to the plants. They get pumped to the plants, or the plants are also, sometimes they can be sitting in water depending on what type of plants they are. And then those plants are going to filter out the waste products from the fish. And then the water will get pumped back into the fish tank. So it's this self-sustaining system that we create, and food will come out of it. And then also the fish, you can also put smaller fish into the tank where those fish can feed off of those fish. But this is a really great way to farm because it's, like I was saying before, a lot of people in these countries, they don't have access or own a whole bunch of land that they can do the type of farming that we do here in America. So what we could do is teach them this way, so that way they have the food that they need. They can eat the fish as well, so they get protein as well. And it's a space saver. That's the biggest thing about this. It's a space saver, so they can support their own families or people in their community. So there's different types of food that you can grow from this type of ecosystem, like soybeans, tomatoes, strawberries, eggplants, spinach, celery. So a whole variety of different types of foods that you can get from this. But I think the biggest hit point about this, though, is instead of giving people food, which only solves their problem for today, if we invest that same money that we give them food for every day, like emergency relief, instead we do this, those same people will be able to become self-sustained, where they can grow their own food and they don't need our help anymore. And that's the biggest take-home point from this. Thank you. So going back to the other side of this argument that people in other countries would receive no benefit from our intervention because of problems such as with lack of land, infrastructure, and marketplace, aquaponic farming would give the ability to grow food for these people without having the need for amounts of land, and also with lack of infrastructure and marketplace, they would be self-sustained and they wouldn't need to rely on anyone else to provide them food. So the outcome of this would be that people would be completely self-sustainable, which would solve their food insecurity issues. And I'm not saying that aquaponics would solve all world hunger, but I think it would make a significant impact on the large majority. Thank you.